All right, welcome to episode 14 of Reality Rundown, where we are recapping tonight's episode of Big Brother All Stars. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, please leave a like, leave a comment if you would like. And if you would like to watch on Twitch, where we do these live after every episode, we go live about 20 minutes after every episode at twitch.tv/Reality Rundown. And tonight's episode starts with your girl Christmas. You love her.
Christmas, I mean, she's growing on me every time I hear.
Yeah, because you and Christmas are the same person. Super cocky when you don't even do anything.
Hey, I mean, if you ask us, we're doing all kinds of things.
Exactly.
We're making money moves. We're doing everything we're supposed to do because we run the house.
But it was very on brand for her to just be like super, super cocky, super like, we're here. I'm the queen. I'm winning. Like, we're playing now. When she won this HOH by doing literally nothing, she just stood there. So I'm not sure why she thinks it was like so good of her on this, but she did win, but she didn't do much to do it.
Yeah, I mean, she literally just sat back and let Davon get the answer wrong, and I think Memphis got the answer wrong too. That's who it should be as well. But yeah, it wasn't like it was a hard comp to win. Yeah. Literally, the way to win it was just not answer, and that's everyone who won it.
Yeah, I said the opposite, but thinking about it is definitely just standing there doing nothing is definitely the strategy.
Yeah.
But the first part of this episode is basically it starts with Cody just talking about how he wants to do damage control and how he's mad at Kaser for his speech, calling him out, and basically blowing up his whole game because he was spot on really with Cody except for a little bit, but it does hurt Cody if people actually run with that speech and like think it's true or know it's true because it is true. But it just shows Cody kind of scrambling and mad that it happened. What'd you think about that?
Yeah, it was just, I mean, Cody, he's mad. It's not like, I don't think Kaser's speech really actually did much.
I don't either, just because like when people do those speeches, people are just like, okay, like he's trying to just throw something out there, hope it catches and he stays. And
yeah, which I think it is. The reason I think it is impactful is because the way everyone's reacting to it. Like everyone he said called out is like freaking out, like it actually matters.
Yeah. When
in fact it is one of the least significant things someone could do.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and with that, like talking about how everybody's acting like that, it's like Nicole. She's running around like playing like the victim card, like, oh no, poor me, like he called me out. It's like, but that's her game. Like that's how she's gonna play no matter what. She's gonna find something and make it look like everybody's going after her and targeting her, and in reality, like,
yeah, there was a lot of playing victim tonight between Cody, Danny, and Nicole. They were just like, we didn't do anything wrong. We're so perfect. It was just like, come on, guys. Like,
you're doing these things. It's not like you're not doing it. So
yeah, and you're acting like you're offended for some reason when, I mean, maybe you don't make your game so obvious. You know, it's just kind of like that.
Yeah, and so Cody and Danny are talking about the Kaser speech and how Danny's not happy with the love triangle. How he said it's a love triangle. When I mean, he was spot on. She thinks that they're in a final three. She is definitely the third wheel. So you can be mad all you want, but he called you out and he had it spot on.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, literally the only part. I don't think Danny being mad is going to make much of a difference because it seems like she's lost a lot of like say.
Yeah.
Like no one really listens to her except for Christmas now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like, doesn't really matter. Now I think Cody has a little bit more pull than any of those three, and then Nicole. I mean,
but she's playing the same game she always plays, and it's working for her again. I don't understand it. How everybody doesn't see through it. Like they're just letting her do her thing. The thing
about her, she's so unthreatening. Like she's not going to win comps, and
true, but she's won the game. So like at a certain point, you got to be like, she has won this game. She's a threat. Like you can't just be like, and I guess it's just you're in there and you don't think about it. But I don't get it. I don't see how nobody is really looking at Nicole as like, we got to get Nicole out of here.
Yeah, I don't think she's really a threat to win the game. But
until she wins the game.
She's not really a threat. Like there's other people to get out first. But I mean, obviously you have to get her out earlier, because if she does make it to final two, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People are probably going to give it to her. It's like the whole, oh, you won and you get it again. It's impressive, But
yeah, true. This is when we start getting some started the breakdown of really this whole episode. Like, it starts here with Tyler and Danny and Bailey. Tyler, Danny, and Bailey are all talking, and no, I take that back. Yeah, no, that is it. And they're talking about how all of the Slick Six people in the HOH comp picked each other. So I think it was Cody picked Kevin and Davon, and he blamed it on him, saying that Kevin picked him and he was mad about the whole speech, and so he was like, I'll pick Kevin, and I've seen you with Kevin a lot, so I'll just throw you with him. And I mean, clearly it's because he wants Danny out, or Davon out of the competition, but it was very clear that like everybody that was in an alliance were picking each other for it to get them out, and it's starting to get real suspect.
Yeah, like that alliance is completely dead at this point. Yeah. Like, and the speech that he gave Davon was it was so bad. Like, I just couldn't. I was seeing red, basically. It's like, dude.
And Davon sees right through it. She's like, he's lying. Like, this is. I mean, come on. You want me to? It may have been better
to, like, instead of immediately go to her, maybe take 5-10 minutes and actually think about something that might be a good lie.
Yeah.
Opposed
I don't even know what is a good lie at this point. Like, there is nothing you can. There's literally nothing he could have said that would have worked, because it's like, there's no reason for you to pick me. Like,
there's probably some way to make it work, but you would have to.
Well, I mean, the thing is he didn't pick like fourth or fifth when there was a few people out. He picked second when the only person out was Ian. So it's like, you have everybody to pick from, yet you pick me that's in an alliance with you. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real stretch to think there's some way he can get out of like trouble there. But I'm sure there's some way he could have done it. But
yeah, I don't see how he could have. But
it was just a real bad.
It doesn't matter because he didn't do it. So then we get Christmas and Danny. Danny comes into the love room where Christmas is at, and they're celebrating, and Danny's all happy because she won HOH. And this is the first time we hear Christmas talk about how she's thinking about nominating Davon and Bailey together.
Yeah, which it's exactly what I didn't want to happen, because I'm so tired of one side just running the house.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Like in all of these people's past seasons, I've liked them like individually, but now that it's they're the ones that just run the house completely. It's like, yep. I just don't like these people.
Yeah, and like this move for Christmas, putting up Davon and Bailey, it doesn't benefit her really at all. Like, there's really no reason for her to put them up other than just Nicole and Danny all this past 2 weeks have been putting in her ear, hey, we need to like watch out for Bailey and Davon. Like, Bailey and Davon, they're a pair. Like, you're not going to be able to like split them up. And it worked for them clearly, because this is the first thing she thinks of when she wins HOH is, oh, like Bailey and Davon, that's the perfect two to put up.
Yeah, I mean.
So and this all goes back to Christmas can't play her own game. Like, even in her original season, she just did whatever Paul and Josh wanted.
Yeah, definitely. And she even says it right there in that little situation there, where she hears that Bailey and Davon are going after one of her alliance members. So that means they're going after her. When in fact, if she was actually thoughtful, she would be like, wait, these people are going to make my alliance smaller? That's probably a good thing at this point in the game.
Yeah, so you don't have to make that shot. No one, like, if you feel comfortable and safe in your alliance, you don't think you're going to be like one or two of the first ones out of it, let them take that shot. Let them go after your alliance, and you sit back and relax. There's no reason for you to do this. But yeah, I just think it's a really dumb move on her part. But again, it just shows how good Nicole and Danny were at planting those seeds and continuing going back and just pushing it, and not pushing too hard to where like those are off, but pushing just enough to where she wins HOH, and that's the first thing she thinks of.
Yeah, I think that was the perfect situation for like to get Bailey and Davon on the block. Like, literally, had Christmas not won, or it had Christmas, Cody, Nicole, or Danny, had any of those four not won HOH,
yeah,
it would have been a real like wild card as to what's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
But with any of those four, which I mean, it was pretty obvious they're going to go after those four or those two. I mean, so.
Yep, 100%. We get Christmas and Davon talking. This is when Davon's kind of making her pitch of like, I want to work with you, like I like you, and you're a mom, I'm a mom, like we got that in common. So like I am definitely for you in this game, and I'm never gonna go after you. And it's just 1 week too late. Like Christmas said, like I understand where she's coming from, and I think she's being genuine, but like you can't not say like talk any game with someone until they become in power, and then all of a sudden be like, oh, like I want to work with you, like you're great, blah blah blah, because it holds no weight at that point.
I hated the pitch that Davon made.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst pitch you could make. Like, if
well,
I'm in the house,
it's fine if you don't do it. Like, if you have some sort of relationship before they are in power, it's fine. But like,
that's a
if
week
you don't,
one pitch.
Yeah,
that's a week one pitch of like, hey, we're both the same in some way, so we should work together.
Yeah,
that's a week one thing. But whenever you do that, like week 4, it's so. I think it's so fake.
Yeah,
and even week 1, I still hate it personally as a pitch. Is like, we share something common, therefore we should work together. Because that's
why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say this 2 or 3 weeks ago? Like, why didn't you don't want to work with me for now?
I mean in general, like even week 1.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Girls Alliance every single season. They make it for one reason, because they're girls, but it doesn't
never works.
And it's just because the only thing they have in common is the fact that they're girls, opposed to the things that they actually share that would help them in the game.
Yeah,
and that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I just don't think, like, Davon's pitch here, and it clearly doesn't work. Like, Christmas is just like, yeah, I just want to talk to everybody, get a grip of what everybody's thinking, and Davon leaves like, yeah, I don't think that went anywhere. So, I don't see how that pitch works anytime. Like, especially this far into it. Like, again, like I'm saying, you can't not talk game with somebody. They get HOH, be like, oh, I definitely want to work with you now. Like, of course you do. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks in a row where you have an HOH win and no one talks to the or the people who are going to go on the block. They haven't talked to the HOH.
Yep.
So it's like, if you play the game of Big Brother, at least talk to somebody on some level game-wise.
It's just at the base. Even at the base. Just get something there in case they do win. And then you at least have something to work off of. But if you just go up there like with nothing, you're just throwing out, like, they're not going to take anything you say serious.
Yeah, like every single week you should probably talk to everybody once about something game-related. Yeah. That way, at the very minimum, they can't say, well, we've never talked game together. And they actually have to show cards in some way.
Yeah, I agree. Then we get Enzo talking with Christmas in the HOH room, and he's just like, Ian still, I mean, he's here, he's a champion, you know, he doesn't say winner, he always says champion. Ian's a champion of the game. And he's just throwing him out there, just seeing if Christmas will bite on that. And Christmas doesn't really say anything about it. She's like, yeah, but it's Ian, who cares? Like, we'll get Ian at some point. And so when Enzo doesn't see that she's biting at that, he's like, well, we might want to look for, like, the emotional players. Like, I would say Davon is the most emotional probably, and then Nicole and Bailey. Bailey's really emotional. So you can tell he's just kind of throwing it out there and seeing what's going to happen.
Yeah, he was – I don't necessarily think he was aiming for them. I think he was really just trying to categorize everybody. Like, he obviously wanted those emotional people to go up. Like, he was categorizing 4 people, which are I don't know how the real speech went in the house, but – He laid out 4 people that he's not really working with. Yeah. Which is those 3 emotionally, and then he named Danny, and I don't know how he labeled Danny, but how did he label Danny? Did you write that down?
I think he was just talking about how she's just a floater and just playing both sides, and how she's just good with everybody, and that's dangerous.
I
don't know if he
labeled her. Seeds. He labeled her as planting seeds or something.
Maybe, yeah.
But yeah, he literally just labeled the 4 people he doesn't work with. And
then Danny, that's in his alliance, that if she went, he would be okay with.
Yeah, which, I mean, there's nothing he can do in that situation. If he's sitting here saying, I think you need to go after Danny and Nicole, then he's showing too many cards with someone that he thinks he's close with, and they are close. Yeah. But you don't know how that relationship's going to go.
And he's playing Christmas the right way with Christmas. Like, Christmas wants to be, like, stroked. Like, she's like, you're the best. Like, you won this, so you do what you want. And that's what Enzo's saying. He's like, you won this HOH, you're going to do what you want, and I respect that, and you should do what you want, which is what Christmas wants to hear.
Yeah, Christmas likes being told that she's good.
100%. She loves her ego being stroked. So right after this, we get the Big Brother Basement, which is the new twist on the game, where there's one comp, it's completely in the dark, and there's 3 powers in play. So three separate people are going to get a power, and it's completely anonymous unless you want to tell people, which you can if you want. But what it is completely dark room. There's a bunch of like there's 3 symbols, but then there's a bunch of like symbols that are like will throw you off, and then there's these I don't even know what like things you put them in that it has to fit perfectly, and if you find it and put it in there, you get the power. And so the only thing that I got like before it was Enzo said, I lived in a basement, so I know the basement life. Like, what? I think he said it like 2 times.
As someone who has also living in a basement.
Currently in the basement.
It's I understand. I know where he's coming from.
I mean, just turn the lights off and do this in the dark.
Exactly. Might as well. But it's just you know how it is. It's basement life.
It's just basement life. So he has a little bit of an advantage in this because he's lived in a basement. But yeah, so in this one and before it's I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna talk about that. Either way, it takes I don't know how long this comp takes. They didn't say, but it doesn't look like it took like a long time. It looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a really long comp. Which those comps are always super long, or typically super long, because it's so random. There's literally it takes 0 skill, and it's complete luck.
100%
And
luck.
then when they throw so many different obstacles in there, you have to move so slow. It's funny.
Yeah,
a lot of funny things happen, like
Nicole losing her pants.
Yeah, Nicole losing her pants, which it was funny because like a minute before that, it's like so uncomfortable that situation happening because Davon's screaming, "Somebody's filling me up," and then Nicole's losing her pants. It's just like this competition could be real bad.
It's a disaster. Yeah. So what it shows too is it looked like David was holding the lightning bolt. And then, like, he just dropped it. He didn't even try to fit it in there. So I was like, what is going on? Like, you have it. You're standing right beside the thing. Like, put it in there. But then it turns out, like,
yeah,
he's the first one to get that power, and he gets that power. So I don't know what they were showing there or what happened. I don't know.
I think that they were just showing the fact that they are ones that look exactly like it.
Maybe,
but they're too big. Because that's what he ended up saying. It's like, oh, it was too big.
Yeah.
I think. Or somebody said that.
Someone definitely had one that was too big. I don't know if it was him or not. But he does end up getting the first one, and it was the lightning bolt, and it's called the Disruptor. And so he's
power. That's
he's
a big
pumped.
Power.
Yeah, he definitely got the best one. Second, Danny got the replay. I think that's what it's called, the replay power.
The worst of the 3.
100%. And Christmas gets the blocker. Christmas gets the blocker. So them 3 are with the powers, David, Danny, and Christmas. And they get done with the comp. Danny immediately, Christmas immediately tells Tyler that she got a power. Doesn't know what it is yet. Danny and Nicole are in the room, and Nicole's like, you definitely got a power. And she's like, no, I didn't. And she's like grinning from ear to ear. It's very clear she got one. And she's like, okay, don't tell anybody, but yeah, I got one. So
yeah, she told her after. Nicole's like, dude, are you lying? You're lying to me. It's like
it was very clear that she was lying. Yes.
Yeah, and she did the same thing to Cody earlier, like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like she's lying to people's faces that she's working with, and they're like telling her, like, I know you're lying to me. Quit lying to me.
Yeah.
Like she is on the hot seat real bad.
Yeah, 100%. So after this, they go to the DR where it shows everybody what they got. And it starts with Christmas, and she gets the blocker. And this is, she can prevent herself or someone else from being the replacement nominee at the veto ceremony. And she can use it for the next 3 weeks. So really, I mean, this one isn't bad. Like this is really handy to have. But this next one with Danny is, why'd they even give this one? Like what's the?
It's a good one if you're
things
good
have to be perfect. Yeah. So
if you're good at comps, it's good. Or if you're in the hot seat, where like if
Cody wins next week, and then the next week Cody can play again. So it's called the replay, and she's allowed to make the HOH. She can make them play, or not make them, but they're allowed to play in the next week's HOH competition. So yeah, like you said, if Cody got it next week, and then the next week she's like, oh, Cody, you can play again. So there's more of a chance that someone she's aligned with wins. So it could be good, but definitely the weakest of the three.
Yeah. David's reaction to winning that was so over the top.
But to be fair with David, this is like a blackout comp is what he lost. Like he went out first day on.
Hilarious.
So like he actually gets something out of this one. So
yeah, but like his reaction of being like, I'm just so happy that I was able to show I can compete in a house of great players.
It's luck. Like, it's 100% luck.
You didn't do anything different than anyone else. You just happened to pick up the right one.
Yeah.
So it's just like maybe wait until you beat somebody opposed to stumble upon the right option.
So he got the disruptor, and this is definitely the best one. So I think for the next 2 weeks, maybe, I think that's what it said. It's either 2 or 3. Either way, he can take off one of the HOH's nominees, and I don't think they know he did it. And that forces them to replace them. And the person that he took off, or himself, he can take himself off, is safe for the whole week. So they can't be like backdoored or anything like that. So really, that's a strong power.
It's literally a veto.
But let's see how he uses it. I could see him like being on the block and not using it, thinking he's safe to save it, and then end up going home. Like I could see that happening with David.
I don't think you do that.
I mean, I don't either, but I could see it happening.
I could see him using it maybe this week and saving either Baylor or Davon.
Yeah.
And then him going on the block
next week.
Which would be the same week.
Oh yeah, because he's not safe. Yeah, I don't think he's safe. You're right. Yeah, and he even said in the
funny.
Yeah, and he even said in the DR like, I hate that Bailey and Davon are up there. I may use it, and I'm not opposed of not using it. So he's throwing it out there. There's a chance.
I think the best thing for him maybe is to use it, but can he use it after veto? Or does
I don't know. Yeah, they didn't specify.
I doubt he can. I doubt he has to use it in between noms and veto, but I think it's important for him. But then again, if anyone his side of the house wins HOH, or not his side of the house because he doesn't have a side of the house, but if anyone on the other side of the house wins HOH, then it doesn't really matter because someone in the power is going home because there's so many.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it might be better just to wait for himself.
Okay, so this is when we see the blow up start. So Danny and Bailey are talking, and I think did this conversation start with Bailey or Danny or Bailey?
Danny walked in on Bailey and starts talking to her.
Okay, so she's just like, hey, like what's going on? Like you've seen a little bit off with me, and I was kind of in and out on this one because I was drafting. So you might want to take the lead here.
Yeah. So Danny walks into the bedroom and's like, hey, last week or yesterday you didn't talk to me at all, or today you haven't talked to me at all, whatever it was. And then Bailey was just like, well, why do you think that is?
Okay, yeah. So
and then
and I like, why just be like, sorry, like I just have an off day, like we're good. Don't like blow up yours and other people's games for no reason here.
Well, I don't necessarily think it's a blow up. I think she mishandled it in terms of being like, of not making condolences, but she could have, I think, addressing the fact is a decent idea because she could potentially get her off of her back in some way. But she doesn't.
She's went about it the wrong way.
She doesn't accept sorry very well, and won't fake the fact that she thinks you're good with somebody.
Yeah.
So it's just like, if you just say, I heard you're coming after me, and then she's like, well, I guess we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. But for now, I'll make, it's just something. I don't know.
Yeah. And so Danny, like, she's like, I didn't say any of that. That did not happen. Like, she's definitely saying, like, I 100% did not do that. And Bailey's just not. And then, no. So then Enzo walks in, and Bailey's like, hey, Enzo. is it true or not that people have been saying that Danny is coming after me? And Enzo is just like, yeah, there's been talks. There's been talks. And it's like, Enzo, what do you, like, why? Why say that?
Well, I think him saying that is not a bad thing. And I think it was actually good for Bailey to call it out. I kind of liked her saying that right there. Because then it makes Danny realize, at the minimum, even if it was false, at the minimum, people are saying it.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's not freaking out, worried about it, it's obvious. Like, everyone obviously knows. Like, it's obvious it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the problem with it, and it didn't really make any difference whether or not who's going on the block. But Bailey, I don't think that she capitalized off of it the way she should have.
No.
Where she's been like, I think she should have gone to Christmas being like, dude, Danny is trying to run the house, and maybe been talking to people to try to get Danny on the block because it's obvious that at the moment Bailey's kind of the target.
Yep, 100%. So Bailey's like, I'm going to go talk to the people that have been talking to me about it. I'll figure this out, and then we'll talk later. So she leaves, and Danny's like, Enzo, what was that? And he's like, sorry, like, I got backed in the corner. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not talking about it. I'm not getting into this. And so he just leaves. He's like, I'm not doing this. And so Tyler's in the DR, Bailey it goes and talks to Tyler. And Tyler's like, why would you say that? Like, I told you this to help you. Why would you tell her this and blow up all of this? Like, what was the point in that?
Are you okay? Yeah, I thought you're still gonna talk, but yeah. Now he's right about what he's saying, but it's still like she didn't. I don't think she did. I like the fact that she did that.
I disagree though, because but I disagree because Danny is like, if she would have just rode this out, there's like, and this is before she's even on the block. So like, if she rides this out and pushes, like, goes and plants seeds about Danny and like forces like people to push for Danny, because Tyler's like clearly telling them he wants Danny out, so maybe he's pushing to get Danny out. Maybe there's more of a chance that Danny goes up as opposed to Bailey and Davon. But with this, it's not going to help anything.
I think that the conversation with Danny was good, but then the fact that Bailey did nothing with it was the issue, because she literally, like, Bailey's just trying to play everybody. She's telling me I'm good, but then she's telling other people she wants to be gone. But then she's telling everybody different things, and she's trying to do that. She's overplaying, and then what she could have done is be like, hey, talk to Tyler, and then she got mad about Tyler, opposed to being like, well, how can we spin this to get Danny on the block? And that's where she misplays, because she doesn't take everything as an opportunity.
But the downside of doing this is so low that, like, if this backfires, you piss Tyler off, you lose him. You piss off Enzo, you lose him, which Enzo is probably never with you to begin with. But at this point, you think he is. You clearly don't have Danny. Like, in the slight chance that this was all made up in a lie, you definitely don't have Danny now. So, like, you're losing everybody that you were even slightly in a relationship with.
If she just says, yeah, I had a bad day, and Bailey had a bad day, because she didn't just say, I wasn't the one talking to you. Danny says, neither you or Bailey, Davon talked to me, or would even look at me.
Well, so I mean, I would just say I don't know about Davon, but I was having a rough day. I was just not having anything. So
yeah, that's just like the obvious answer to be like, I just don't want to start anything. But it's like, and I think that answer is very obvious that there's a problem, opposed to saying something about it and either fixing it or being able to utilize that information that you get out of the conversation.
Yeah, I just don't agree with the play, because and it might be just because I don't think Bailey knows how to play that, and like, yeah. Like, if it were Tyler, if it were the opposite, and Tyler was sitting in this spot, and it was Tyler instead of Bailey, Tyler could spin this and make it work for him perfectly. But Bailey, I just don't think she has that in her game to do. Like, she's just very open, and whatever she thinks, she's gonna say.
Yeah, she does a lot of things that, like, she sees everything on its face, opposed to all the potentials that it could be.
Yeah. So Tyler in the DR, he's just like, yeah, this sucks for my game. Like, they just blew it all up. This is probably going to send me home, but here we go. And then we have Davon and Bailey talking, and they're just like, Danny is 100% just going to play the victim if I say anything or blow up or anything. But she comes to me and says something, and I'm the aggressive one. But really, like, Danny was just asking her, like, what's up? Like, you seem off. Is everything okay? But she took that as, like, she was getting backed into a corner. But really, she was just like, is everything good?
I kind of took it as Danny being aggressive too, honestly. I mean, it was obvious that, like, she's going at her in some way, because Danny's doesn't seem to be the most, like, considerate person.
Yeah, no.
So it's not like it's obviously a play. So
Yeah.
it's like she is trying to get something out of this, and I'm glad she didn't give her anything. Well,
Yeah.
she obviously gave her something, but, like, she didn't give her, like, the satisfaction. Instead, she threw something in her face, being like, "Yeah, I know what's going on."
Yeah, true. So then Tyler comes in to this talk, and he's like, I don't know why you would do this, but, like, here we are now. But I do have your guys' back. I've always had your guys' back. I told you guys this to try to help you. Which, in fairness, I think he did tell them this to try to help them. Like, Danny is coming after them, but he's doing it the opposite way too. Like, he's doing it for both. But none of what he's saying is a lie.
No, it's not a lie, and I don't think he's necessarily doing it for them. I don't think he really cares, honestly.
No. He does. No. He doesn't care at all. He just, like, if they go home, they go home. The reason
he did it is because he wanted to get 2 instead of 1 on his side.
Well, not only that, it's just like he wants Bailey and Davon to go after Danny, and Danny to go after Bailey and Davon, and he just sits back and has to do nothing. Like, he's just planting seeds both ways.
But in his DR, he's talking like, or to them, he's like, "I did this for you guys." When no, you did it for yourself. Which, I mean, obviously, have to say that he did it for them. But something that's actually bugging me about Tyler this season is this is the second, third time this season, and we're just starting the season, where he's like, "I'm giving people information, and it's blowing up on me. I'm going to go home."
But yeah, and especially because, like,
he's putting his trust in people he shouldn't put his trust in.
Especially last week, whenever he was doing all this, Cody and Enzo were like, "Dude, why are you doing this? Like, it's gonna blow up in your face." He's like, "Good, let it blow up in my face, because at this point, I don't care. Like, I want that to happen." When it happens, he's like, "Oh crap! Like, it blew up in my face," which I guess is because he doesn't think it's actually gonna blow up. But then when it does, he's like, "Oh crap! I gotta scramble."
Which, honestly, I don't think it really is gonna blow up in his face, because the thing about it is, if Danny gets power, I mean, I guess we'll see. But
we'll see Wednesday.
I mean, I'm guessing you know something that I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see Wednesday.
But well, now I'm not gonna talk, because you just
yeah, I mean, it's just he's in, but this is the first time, because even on 20, Tyler never had to scramble. He never had any adversity put to him. So, like, he just coasted, like, the entire time, played a phenomenal game, and just ended up losing because Bailey was bitter and voted against him. But this season, he's starting. True. But this season, he's starting to get things thrown at him, and he's having to pivot and move other places and talk his way out of things. And I'm anxious to see how he does that, and if he can do that. And if he can do that, then he really is one of the all-time greats.
Well, I think in his season, he did have to do a lot of pivoting and making and changing the narrative on a lot of things. But this season, it's a different level of, like, everyone. It's a lot more mainstream, opposed to it being, like, behind the scenes.
Nobody knows. Yeah, he was working things like one-on-one with people when nobody knew he was doing it. This time, it's like, oh crap, we know Tyler's game, so, like, he's got
everyone in the house knows what's going on because everything's being thrown out there personally or to everyone. So it's just like he probably needs to actually lay low, opposed to running the house in anyway for a little while.
Yeah, 100%. Which makes this HOH next week really interesting. I know I say that a lot, but, like, every week it's like, if one thing could happen with the HOH, it could be really fun, and then it ends up not happening. So
what we need is an Ian. We need Ian to come through and win the HOH, to blow it up.
Because if it was like David or Kevin, it's like, it would be so boring and so just, like, they would be clueless. Ian at least would have, like, he would be smart about it, and it may not be the right move for him, but whatever he does, at least he's going to think through it, and it's going to be somewhat strategic.
I think that if David or Kevin win it, they're both going to be they're going to be manipulated to do something for somebody.
Oh, 100%.
Because they're Kevin especially. I think David potentially might just do his own thing, and I think it could be a very exciting week if David wins HOH.
You just don't know where it'd go. Yeah, it could be anything.
But Kevin's HOH, he will literally he'll be looking for
Davon
something to grab onto. So it's like if enough people come to him who he deems as powerful that he doesn't want to necessarily throw up, he's gonna be like, "Oh, there'll be a shield for me," or things like. And plus, it'll go straight to his head. Yeah. He's gonna say, "I did it." He's gonna Christmas us if he wins. It's very obvious.
Yeah, 100%. So
and then cry when he nominates.
Just like Christmas this week. So we get to the nominations, and Christmas nominates Bailey and Davon. She starts crying, and she's just like, "Bailey, you came to me and said that you're untouchable was Davon. So in this game, that's something really stupid to tell someone. So you guys are up." And Davon's just like, "Bailey told you I was untouchable to her, so you put me on the block," and you just get Christmas sobbing. Like,
yeah, which I mean, I think that's a fairly good reason to actually put her on the block, just on its face of being like, "Oh, well, that means you guys are a duo, so we'll eliminate a duo." But the whole the thing that really got on my nerves was, so I'm not a glasses wearing man. You wear glasses. I don't wear glasses, so
I don't really wear glasses though.
You wear glasses, all right. So we can. I'll let you take the reins on this. But whenever she started to cry, she pulls her glasses down.
I don't wear glasses, so I don't know.
I mean, do you pull your glasses down when you cry?
Let's ask somebody that wears glasses. I don't know.
You wear glasses, you know. I mean, you ever cry when you're driving? This guy wears glasses, but
no,
yeah,
I don't know.
It really bugged me that she had to pull her glasses down and then present to the room
that she's crying,
that she's gonna cry, and then.
But it's just what bugs me is like, this is not like your move. Like, you were told what to do. This is not what you really probably wanted to do, other than just people in your ear saying that they needed to go up.
Well, I mean, what did Christmas want to do?
That's the thing. I don't know, because she doesn't talk it. Like, she doesn't say anything to anybody, and then, like, even after the season, I don't think we will ever know anything about Christmas's game or what she thought of it, because she just was like, "Yeah, I won competitions. I'm great." Like,
yeah, the thing about Christmas is she's just a competitor. Like, she's gonna be good at comps, most likely.
Yeah, she's you. She's you.
I'm more thoughtful, but she's gonna be good at comps, but she's not gonna do anything with it. She's gonna listen to what everyone else says, and like, she doesn't think for herself.
Yeah, I mean, same thing as her last season. She would just listen to Josh and Paul and just ride her way to third.
Highly likely.
Highly on pills the whole time.
Because I mean, you know, everyone does like Christmas, though. She's a likable person.
I don't like Christmas.
Every person who plays with her.
All right, well, that's all we got tonight. You got anything else?
My heart and mind is clear.
Why do you say that? It's so weird.
It's clear.
All right. We will be back Wednesday night after the episode. We will see the veto. Who wins the veto? Hopefully Bailey or Davon can pull themselves down and we can get a back door, because I want to see them in the game. I think they can mix it up some, and everybody that can mix it up are slowly getting out of the house, and that sucks. But I guess we'll find out Wednesday. So if you are watching on YouTube, please please subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like. And if you want to see us do this live on Twitch, we go live after every episode, about 20 minutes after, at twitch.tv/realityrundown. We'd love to see you there. And if that's all you got, we appreciate you guys listening, and we will see you Wednesday.